This is for you. You've been having a lot on your mind lately. And I just want to drop in here to let you know success is not about how much money you're making, how well your businesses are doing, how bright the future's looking for you, or even about how far you've come. Success is about how far you've come from where you've started. And I want you just to take a minute to think about where you started. Not right now and where you're living at and the job you're making, but where you started. Where you started. I'm here right now. I've come away on a little trip and I'm here and I'm like, my business, I gotta get it better. We gotta be doing this and this and this project, this brand. And it's so funny how I know so many of my followers, so many of you all here, so many people who are on this journey with me, you guys have been going through the same thing of holding yourself to such a high standard that sometimes you let that standard beat you up and make you feel like you're not doing enough. And I want to take this reminder right here for you. Yes, for you. To just think back to where you started from. Where was it? Were you even working then? Did you have any friends then? Did you speak even another language back then? Just think back to that. You know, because as I'm on this journey that I love being a part of and having you all be a part of it with me, I can't help but think of how many times we're tough on ourselves. Some of the clients that I work with, this is a common thing that's coming up. People that I'm having conversations on the street with, it's coming up even more so now that I'm in a place where people are speaking more English on the streets. And I think when you can just think back to how it was and you can really see how far you've come and you can see all the experience you have, everything that tried to take you down and people who had let you down, wrote you off as they're not going to be anything. Like, look at where you are. And I think if you can just really take a moment to feel that, I think you'll feel better. Because I feel that my audience is hard on themselves. I feel like my audience has this deep desire. Some of you have such a deep desire to succeed, and yet you're still trying to figure out what succeeding means for you. And hopefully by this little short video that I'm filming in my hotel room, and this is interesting because it's my tattoo on the wall. But that's another story. That I just wanted to send this reminder to you. So many times, as much as I want to tell you guys not to be a perfectionist and not try to do everything perfect, but do everything imperfect, I find myself in situations like right now where I'm like, I should go out, go for a ride and make this video. There's a beautiful sunset. I don't know if you guys can see. Look at that. There's an absolutely beautiful sunset out there. And I was like, I need to go out there to film it. My audience, they're used to seeing me out and about, showing them where I am, the country that I'm in, the cities that I'm walking around, the people that I'm interacting with. And I'm like, but what if I could be imperfect? What if you could just do you because it's you? You film something just because it's on your mind and you want to share it. Not because you want to have views, not because you want to look and make people think you're a certain way. Or not doing it just to please your friends and people who are looking at you and you know they're looking at you. And I have to remind myself this constantly, like sitting here in my room, beautiful sunset outside, and at the same time, this is the moment. This is the perfect moment to do it. And sometimes something I think will help you snap into the perfect moment is understanding if you look at where you started. All this beating yourself up you've been doing lately and holding yourself and like at this such a standard that you almost are disappointed when you look in the mirror, even though you're doing better than you did even 5 years ago. But I want you to think back to where you started. Do you remember what you looked like back then? Like I remember being like a 15-year-old kid, just wanting to have a bicycle so I could have just a little bit of freedom, just a little bit. I just wanted to ride down the street. I just wanted to go on the sidewalk. My parents would never let me go on the sidewalk. They never let me go on the sidewalk. But all I wanted to do was go to the sidewalk. I'd ride to I have like a circular driveway at my home in the States, or my parents' home, and I ride to the edge of the sidewalk and turn around and come back. My wheel would just touch the sidewalk a little bit, and I'd have a little bit of taste of what that freedom felt like for me at that time. That's where it started for me. And I think back to like, well, when did it change? When did it evolve? And I remember my parents went away on vacation, as they did so often. They left us with my grandmother. And if you don't know, I have 5 brothers and sisters, and all of us in one home. And my grandma was looking out for everyone else. And she didn't know the rules that my parents had. She didn't know that I wasn't allowed on the sidewalk. So I remember telling her like, hey grandma, I'm just gonna go ride up the driveway, but don't worry, I'm just gonna go on the sidewalk. And she's like, okay. And it's like, I tasted that freedom. I rode on the sidewalk back to my other entrance of my driveway and rode back through, and I just kept riding in circles and riding in circles and riding in circles, so happy. And I remember that's like where it started for me. I didn't have a football, I didn't have a football back then. I didn't have a basketball back then. Didn't have a court to play on back then. But it started for me with just wanting a little taste of freedom. And I want you to think of what that was for you when you grew up, when you were younger. Where did you start at? For me, it was just riding around in circles on my bike in the driveway. And that's where it started. And I think for myself, as I look back, and I haven't thought of that till this moment as I'm recording this video, if you really think back to where you started, and if that person who you were back then, thinking back to where you started, that person who you were, how would they feel if they saw you right now? How would they look at you if they saw you right now? If you were someone who could just pop into their life for a second, would they look at you as this person who, like, you're not doing enough, your business isn't making enough, you're still working at the same job, you're not traveling full time, you're not running your own business with employees? Or would they look at you as like that's someone I want to be like? And whoever it is out there, whoever needed this video, I hope you can see yourself after this video with the same eyes as that little kid that you were would see you right now. If you could see how their eyes would glisten, they haven't been through all the pain and through all the challenges, and they look at you as like you were really a superhero. How you can just get up every morning, how you can do this despite not wanting to do it maybe some days, and being tired some days, and other responsibilities and obligations. If they could just look at you and have that glow in their eyes and smile. Maybe you were young enough that you don't even remember having teeth. But if they could see you right now, can you see that maybe you could be their hero? And what if it wasn't just a thought of you going back to that, being that little kid of where you started? But you remember that little kid who started is still there, right here. So for you who's being a little bit hard on yourself, I hope that this video is what you needed. I hope you come back and watch this over and over again. As I don't watch my own videos, but I might have to go back and watch this because I want the best for you. But if I can't want the best for me, I don't think I should be wanting the best for other people yet. Because we often hold ourselves to different standards than we hold other people to. We often will do more for other people than we will for ourselves. That's a proven fact. But oftentimes, if we gave to ourselves fully and what we needed and gave us the love we needed, we'd stop looking for it from an outside source. But more importantly, we would stop being so negative to ourselves. Because some of you, I know you say things to yourself that you would never say to another person. And what if it stopped today? What if this video with the sunset should be beautiful? Look at that. Beautiful sunset. Hopefully you can see this and just, I think back to myself of like, well, I think I should be doing more. I'm learning, I'm taking a bunch of programs. I'm in this dark room kind of, and I'm gonna go out and ride for a little bit, but I wanted to take these programs and it's just like, I need to be doing more. I need to have new businesses and all this. And I'm like, what if that younger version of me could see me now? And I thought about, what if that younger version of you could see you now? How proud and happy they'd be of you. And what if you just started to feel that way? Because that little person from back where you started, a little piece of them is still right there. So take care of yourself. I love you. Speak to you all soon. Get some videos out. And yeah, remember to work hard, be brave, and don't forget to smile. Ciao.